All right. Much love and long life to all truth seekers and justice lovers, because what you're about to hear will make you question everything you thought you knew. Another officer died, but not before he shot a black man in the stomach, inside an emergency room of all places. This time, it happened right up the street from me in Garner, North Carolina, where Officer Roger Smith, 59, lost his life after firing a bullet into 29-year-old Benji Martin Jr. Now, the story you're about to hear from the news paints him as a hero, a man who saved lives from a so-called dangerous black man in the ER. But what if that narrative isn't the truth at all? What if the real story looks nothing like what they're showing you on TV? I'm going to share information from sources who were actually there. But first, listen carefully to how the media frames this event. Notice what they don't say, what they avoid, and how the script flips. This video is for literary and commentary purposes only. Just watch.
We continue to follow breaking news in Garner this hour as we learn more about that shooting that killed a WakeMed campus police officer. Investigators say Officer Roger Smith was shot in the lobby of the emergency room at WakeMed Garner Health Complex around 9 o'clock this morning. The 59-year-old officer was transported to WakeMed's Raleigh Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. Garner police tell us they've also charged 29-year-old Benji Martin Jr. with murder. People who were at a nearby farmers market were stunned to learn what happened.
There can just be more precautions put on to protect people. It's a crazy world we live in today.
A law enforcement procession honoring Smith shut down Interstate 440 as officers escorted his body to the medical examiner's office. Now, new at 11, we're hearing from people who knew Officer Smith. As CBS 17's Haley Kennedy reports, those people say he was the kindest person they knew.
WakeMed officials say Officer Roger Smith's legacy stretches far beyond these walls. After nearly 30 years of service in law enforcement, they're calling his final moments heroic.
Active shooter at WakeMed and Garner.
To anyone on scene for a patient count, I need a patient count.
It's going to be a 50-year-old male DSW. It's going to be a WakeMed officer.
First responders rushing to the scene after WakeMed campus police officer Roger Smith was gunned down in the emergency room after a struggle with someone in the lobby.
I started kind of searching social media and news accounts and stuff, just trying to find a picture so I could confirm my worst suspicions.
Stephen Moore was high school best friends with Smith at Garner Senior, now called Garner Magnet High School, also working as a security officer, taking the time to speak with me on the phone about his friend.
Pretty much running the whole gamut of shock and disbelief.
29-year-old Benji Martin Jr. has been arrested and charged with murder.
A gut punch like it always is. You know, you always hope and pray that the officer who's injured in the line of duty is going to pull through, and unfortunately that doesn't always happen.
CBS 17 is working to learn what led up to the struggle, while the nonprofit Back the Blue, organized to help law enforcement families, is working to gather support for Smith's family.
I found out that he was taking care of his elderly mother. And so now my concern is who is going to take care of her and who's going to help step up and support his family.
Smith worked for WakeMed campus police for 14 years, and before that, he served with the Knightdale Police Department for 16 years.
When I knew him, was the epitome of law enforcement. He was compassionate, caring. Yeah, he wasn't out here to make a name for himself. He just wanted to do a job and keep the community safe.
The community honoring him Saturday with a procession down I-440, escorting his body to the examiner's office. Garner police stating that Officer Smith's actions likely prevented further loss of life.
There is no routine day in law enforcement. You never know exactly what you're going to walk into at work or what situations are going to be handed to you.
We will keep you updated as this investigation unfolds. In Garner, Haley Kennedy, CBS 17 News.
Aight, so peep this. You saw that clip, right? Same routine. Clean-cut story, same official version. They're saying Officer Smith got shot in the ER lobby after a brief struggle, and boom, Benji's already labeled the killer. But hold up. Nobody's saying how it started, what triggered it, or what went down before that struggle. Instead, they fast forward straight to the sympathy, the tributes, the police salute, the fallen hero narrative. But if the info I'm about to drop is true, then this whole story flips, and that officer might have been the one who started everything. 8. Let's really break this down, because what witnesses are saying paints a whole different picture than what we just heard on the news. So here's how it really went down, according to people who were right there. Benji Martin, 29, and his girl had twins. But tragedy struck. One of the babies didn't make it, and from that moment his mental health just spiraled. That kind of pain, it changes a man. Now, fast forward. One day, Benji goes to a store and buys some edibles. Not pills, not anything illegal. Just edibles. But he took too many at once, probably trying to calm his mind. A friend found him later, dazed, barely conscious, and rushed him straight to the ER. He wasn't violent. Witnesses say he was just confused, pacing, saying odd things, disoriented. Then comes Officer Roger Smith. Witnesses say Smith walked right up to Benji, grabbed him by the neck with one hand, and pulled his gun with the other. Benji's begging, "Please, don't shoot me!" Moments later, bang! A single shot tears through his stomach. And here's where it gets real strange. After that, the officer reportedly shot himself in the leg, and then another round, possibly accidental, possibly not, hit him in the chest. That one ended his life. Benji, he barely made it. 6 blood transfusions, emergency surgery. But he lived. No criminal record, no history of aggression. Neighbors said he was quiet, worked long hours, kept to himself. And yet, none of this part of the story made it into the news. Not the plea. Not the first shot. Not the fact that this officer may have pulled the trigger first. There you have it.
With some co-workers of Roger Smith here at WakeMed, they tell me that he was someone who always wanted to keep people safe and that he enjoyed what he did, and we lost a great person when this happened. Now, we're still working to learn more details about what led up to this, but as far as we know, we do know that there was some kind of altercation that happened inside the Healthplex here in the lobby, and we know that is when Officer Roger Smith was shot. We also know that the suspect in this case, Benji Martin Jr., also shot during that altercation. He is now under medical supervision, but eventually he will be taken to the Wake County Detention Center facing murder charges. Now, again, still unclear what led up to that altercation, but the police chief calling this a heartbreaking and senseless act of violence. Now, we do know right now the SBI is now assisting with this investigation. We'll, of course, continue to follow up on this and let you know as soon as we know more. For now, we're live. Tom George, ABC 11.
They finally admit Benji was shot too, but listen to how they word it. Still guarding the same clean narrative, still wrapping it in soft language. A senseless act of violence, they say. But wait, what's really senseless here? A man in crisis walking into a hospital for help? Or an officer pulling the trigger on someone clearly unstable and scared? Because that part, that I can agree with. If Benji reacted after being shot first, that's not senseless. That's straight-up survival. Yet again, the story flips. The one who started it becomes the fallen hero, and the one who suffered becomes the threat. And only days later, when people started asking questions, did the truth quietly slip out. Benji was shot too. Share this video, because once again, we're seeing how the truth gets buried under that shiny hero narrative, how the real story gets twisted and hidden. I thank y'all for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Make sure you hit subscribe to the Untold Crime Chronicles. And as always, I pray you stay blessed. Lovers of truth, drop your thoughts and comments below. Let's hear what you really think.